Hey, welcome back. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at some problems I have in my shop. Now my shop's a one-car garage and I'm very happy with the space I have. I'm glad to have at least this much space. But the problem with having your shop in such a small area is that you really have to be super organized. When I started out here a little over 2 years ago, things I had in place worked fine. It was easy to sweep up dust, but now I really need to move more towards a dust collector. Tool storage on pegboards worked great, but now it's starting not to give enough space. I'm starting to acquire things like hand planes, and they're going to need. So I'm going to do a series of podcasts, not all in a row, but that are more focused towards fixing my shop. And today what we're going to look at is a problem that's been plaguing this shop for about a year. Ever since I discovered a hardwood supplier. So once I went to my first hardwood supplier and now had this vast array of woods to choose from, it really changed what I was bringing into my shop. Before that, like most woodworkers, it was typically the little boards and stuff that I would find or bring back from places like Lowe's or Home Depot. Until you discover that hardwood supplier, you're sort of limited. So the one day I went down to Hearn's Hardwood in Oxford, Pennsylvania, and I went in and I saw a vast array of wood and species I've never even heard of, burls and boards, and people willing to just show me around, and it was great. It was a great experience. I was nervous as hell going into it. It's almost like being on your first date. It's very nervous. You get into it, you tend to do a little better than you thought. The problem with my wood storage is it consists of 2 shelf brackets. That's all it is, and it's one level, and it's really not a whole lot of space. It's hard to access, it's hard to see, and it just doesn't offer any support for any boards longer than maybe 5 inches. But since I can't store boards up there that are any longer than 4 or 5 feet, I'm very limited in how I can store boards. So boards that are longer tend to get stacked up here behind my bandsaw. Not really ideal. I have ply leaning against the wall. I have just wood is starting to be placed everywhere because I don't really have a good place to store it. Okay, so one of the things I thought of doing was creating a multi-tier shelving, and I looked on various plans online, building ones, and there's plenty out there to choose from. But once I started figuring things into it and the costs, I actually found that I could buy one of these wood racks already pre-made. I got this from Woodcraft. It's made by Pinnacle, and I got it on sale. It was like 50 bucks or something. So I couldn't really justify building my own. I just, once materials, time, this seemed like a better approach. This is one of those times where it's like, do you build everything or do you buy? Well, I mean, that really comes down to cost, time, or your involvement. Now, if I would have gotten a lot of joy out of building a wood rack, I would have went ahead and built one. But it's not my idea of a great project. It's something that needs to be done, and hanging this on the wall will make more sense to me later. That will let me go on and do other projects. But this is the only thing I'm going to incorporate. I'm also going to incorporate these shelf brackets. Now these are the same type of shelf brackets that I already currently use. Now, asking, well, why use these if I have this built in there? Well, what I plan on doing is up above where my bandsaw and drill press is, I want to extend my wood storage a long thing all the way up to the top. So if I ever have any 8-foot boards 10-foot boards, whatever it is, I can store them up on the top shelf, and then they're not down kind of in the way. And I'll have this long support. So what I'm going to do is I'll take these 4 things. Now these 2 plus the 2 that are already there as my shelf support. And I will go ahead and I will move them and position them level with the top shelf of this. And that'll give me added wood storage for longer, long-term boards. I have a bunch of boards, and those are the boards kind of stacked up behind my between my drill press and my bandsaw. And it'd be nice to have them up out of the way. You know, easier to sweep all the stuff up off the floor. I think it will make for a much better workflow. Plus, keep the clutter down and safety. I'm starting to trip over stuff. In a room with a bunch of spinning bits and blades, that's just not a good thing. So we're going to go ahead and start addressing that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set these aside. They're pretty self-explanatory. And I'm going to go ahead and open this Pinnacle wood rack. Basically self-explanatory. It's 2 shelf brackets, screw them into studs. They didn't come with any lag screws or lag bolts. That's kind of a little disappointing. 4 directions. There are no directions. Unless they're maybe on the box, but there's nothing, I mean, in it. Now granted, it says what it is, but you know, it goes on the wall and screw it into studs. I know that. I know it screws into studs. Someone else might not though. And someone could get hurt. Let's see if it says anything on the front. I don't want to jump to conclusions here. Ready to mount right out of the box, capable of holding up 110 pounds per shelf. Bracket is canted upwards. 12-inch long horizontal supports are welded to the vertical frame, powder coated. Perfect for your shop or garage. Yeah. There's nothing in here stating that you should screw the studs. But that's what I'm going to do. So I think one of the things we need to do now, so I have these brackets, I'm going to have to find, and they should be lag screws into studs. So I'm going to have to go out and probably get lag screws. I don't really have any bolts. So I'm going to have to find something to use. Plus another tool I could probably get I don't have is a stud finder. You'd think, being as good looking as me, is I would have a stud finder, since I am a stud. And then I look like a horse. But anyway, I'll go and get some bolts and I'll pick that up. And I'll be back. Okay. One of the things I need to do is I need to get the wood out of this area so I can get in there and work. I need to take the existing wood off of my current wood rack shelf thing, as well as the boards leaning up against the wall on this side. And I need to bring them over here. Now, I can lean them up over here. I'm going to stack them on the table saw, whatever, just so I can create enough room to go ahead and start laying out the new shelves. Let's get moving.